Hey guys, today I'm making some end tables for our couch. Today we're gonna make hexagonal end tables to go alongside our couch. These will match the coffee table I just made, and we will be using plywood, 2x4s, and hairpin legs. First step of this project is to lay out the hexagon on the plywood, and then we'll cut it out. Okay, so here's my plywood. I'm gonna start at the edge. It might be hard to see, but I've already drawn the starter lines. This is gonna be 18.5 inches tall by 18.5 inches wide. It leaves about 1.5 inches for the 2x4s to overhang, so you won't see the plywood. And we wanted it about 20 inches wide. So I've drawn out the initial boundaries and center lines. From here, we're gonna take our speed square that has angles written out, and we want 30 degrees off of that center. Okay, now that we've got our 30 degrees, let's draw lines straight through. And then we'll use these lines to lay out our hexagon. And there you go, you got a hexagon. Just a quick note on drawing hexagons. The correct way to do this is to draw it around a circle with a compass. I don't have a compass that big, so I should have nailed a nail in and used a string and drawn it. But basically, the distance from this corner to this corner is gonna be slightly larger than the distance from here to here, because when you draw a circle, it extends out beyond these sides. So don't make the same mistake I did. I had to redraw this a few times to get it right, but basically these angles are all 120 degrees, and it's not an exact 30-60 like I originally drew it. So just be aware of that when you do this, and if you want it perfect, you should do it around a circle. If you don't care quite that much, you can draw it up in Fusion 360 and get a distance here, and then go from there. Okay, it took a little bit of trial and error and some bad measurements, but I've got 2 hexagons drawn, and I'll get those cut out now. Alright, so I flattened them so that they're both referenced against one corner. I got them clamped into the vise, and then I'm going to sand this so they're all even. So at least I start even. We'll see how I end. That's the plan. Okay, I got this side pretty close. That was the worst side, so the rest should be easy. I'm going to tape this side so that this one stays the same, and then start working my way around till we get all the way around. Alright, I now have hexagons that are the same all the way around. Just a little bit of sanding. Alright, no leaf. Dig a hole, there you go.
Who's cutie? Graduate. Scotty sketch.
Good girl. Alright guys, due to some technical difficulties, I didn't get the shot of sawing these boards off, but as you can see here, I've got them laid out on the hexagon. Can you see? As you can see here, I got them laid out on the hexagon that I built out of plywood. So I've just got them laid out and they're ready to glue up. I flip the boards around, get them to the best side where there's the least air gaps. So we'll glue them up now and then saw them to the final shape. All right, guys, to make up for the lack of sawing? All right, guys, to make up for the lack of sawing, you're gonna get to see me sand. All right, guys, I'm just sanding these edges down just where they're a little rough, just to make sure when I fit them up next to each other that they actually fit as tight as they possibly can. Ready for glue?
Let's
Ready
glue.
for glue. Okay, so I don't have any clamps long enough for something like this, so I'm shoving it up against something that is sturdy, and then I'll shove something heavy on the other side, and that seems to be enough clamping power for what I need. So that's my method. So just spread the glue on, shove it against something sturdy, and shove the next piece in. And then continue the process. Make sure you glue the right side. Okay, find something heavy. Let it sit for a while. All glued up. So I got 2 of these glued up now. The next step, once they're dry, is to screw the plywood back on. Okay, so the saw cuts it 1.5 inches from the edge I'm cutting against, which would be this one here. So just to make sure I have enough room, like this edge is kind of close, but all the other ones I've got plenty of room from where I'll be cutting. So I'm just using this little adjustable square as my guide there. So I should have plenty of board here all the way around. Yeah, so this will be good. I'll screw both of these in at this location. You want to countersink these holes in just in case the legs you put on happen to cover over that screw. This would not be the screw I'd ideally use. I'd use more of a flatter head, but I don't have that length of screw right now in any other size, so this is the one I'm using. But yeah, so just pre-drill your hole, countersink your head. Good test is to put it in upside down just to see if you got enough room, and then screw in until she's flush. And I'm doing one at a time to make sure it doesn't move in between screws. So I can probably drill both of these without too much fear of that happening. And as a quick tip, there's a lot of good countersinking bits out there, but I've found if you have a big drill bit that fits the head of the screw, just use that. It's not going to do quite as clean of a hole. It won't have cool angled edges or anything, but for something like this where you're never going to see the bottom of it, it works just fine. And that's done. Sorry guys. Okay, I'm calling it a night. I got them sawed out today and I got them initially sanded and flat. So I'm pretty happy with this. It's ready to go down to, I started with a 40 grit, so it's ready to do a 60, then 80, and start working its way up there. Flat enough that I feel comfortable starting my way up. So shouldn't be long now. Finish sanding in a day or two and then start staining and painting. They're looking really good. The hexagons came out nice. Hey guys, just got off work, so I'm gonna do a little work on these tables here. I got some plastic wood putty. This stuff dries natural and you can stain it, so I'm just gonna fill in some of these little cracks and like indents like it didn't sand out. So I'm just trying to keep from the future, if any drinks spill on this, I don't want it soaking into the wood. So this will help put the poly on easier and keep anything like that from happening. And I got a little buddy today. Hey, go little buddy. Where's your ball? Where'd your ball go? Did you lose it? There it is. Do you want this? Do you want this? Go get it. Good girl. Right, and as you can see, it's already dried in the real thin areas, so that's how it'll get a little darker than that, but that's the general hue, and then it all stains and looks pretty good. Alright guys, I got the garage all blown out. We're done with the dusty stuff, hopefully, and we're ready to put some wood stain on. I'm using Provincial. This is the color we've decided that goes really well with our couch and living room setup. So I'm gonna give these a quick wipe down and start wiping on the Provincial. Alright, one coat done. I'm going to do one more and then we'll start the poly. I think we've got 2 hours. Alright guys, they're stained. I gotta give them... Alright, it says make sure stain is dry. I'm probably going to give it overnight, but I'd say at least 2 hours, if not more. Alright, so I've put 2 coats of polyurethane on this already. We just sanded back some of the little wood grain that was sticking up and just some high spots. So hopefully this will be the final coat if it all goes on well. Hey, let's do this. So trick with polyurethane that I found is you lay it on heavy or it won't level itself out right. So don't be afraid to use it. Okay, that's it. Once you've reached this point, you can look at it, but don't touch it again or you'll mess it up. And hopefully that is the last coat I have to do. All right, I'll bring you back in a few hours and we'll look at it. See how we did. All right, guys, so poly's done on top. I forgot to stain the bottom of these because they're gonna be a little bit taller. So if somebody sat on the ground, I'd prefer the bottom to be similarly colored. So we're gonna stain the bottoms of them and then we'll put the legs on. Did Daddy do a good job? He did a good job on the good table? Oh, good girl. No. You just want to play, don't you? You like, Daddy, come inside. Come on, let's go play. Alright, I got the legs laid out on the first table. I'm not doing this by measurement or anything. It's mostly by sight. There's one on every other corner. So I'll get these drilled and screwed on and we'll see if it sits level. Nice catch. Somebody's having fun. You approve? Do you approve? Alright guys, that's the tables built. I'm super excited to have this project done. They came out amazing. You'll see from the pictures, but they look awesome in the living room. They're gonna go great in the new house when we move in. So yeah, super pumped on that project. Hope you guys liked it. Hope you learned something. Have a great day.